Handheld gaming. Wow, it's really going through something right now, isn't it? I mean, in a good way.
Definitely. It's not just about, simple mobile games anymore.
Exactly. The tech has just leaped forward. And today, we're looking at maybe the boldest one yet. This device trying to be, well, everything. The ultimate pocket powerhouse.
That's the ASUS ROG Ally, specifically the Xbox-branded one we're digging into.
Right.
And our mission today, with all these reviews and tech specs you've gathered, is basically to figure out, does it actually deliver? Does it nail that balance between being portable and offering, like, real PC gaming performance?
Yeah, because it's gunning for the Steenbeck, the current champ. Needs more than just looks.
For sure.
Okay, so the sources we have cover the hardware inside, that screen everyone's talking about, how it actually runs games.
And the big one, the trade-offs. There are always trade-offs.
Always. So let's start under the hood, the engine.
Okay, so it's really interesting. ASUS didn't just grab a standard laptop chip. They got AMD to make something custom.
The Ryzen Z1 Extreme, that's the one.
Exactly. Purpose-built silicon for this kind of thing.
And that Extreme name sounds serious. For listeners maybe not super deep into chip stuff, it's using AMD's latest graphics, RDNA 3. Why is that specific custom design such a big deal for a handheld?
It's all about efficiency and the TDP, thermal design power.
Right, power draw.
Yeah. See, regular laptop chips, they don't always scale down well. They like more power. The Z1 Extreme is designed to really perform well in that, say, 10 to 30 watt range.
Yeah.
Critical when you've only got a small battery.
Makes sense.
And RDNA 3 itself is just way more efficient than older generations. So you get, better frame rates for the power you're using. They wanted power, but smart power.
And backing that up, the other parts aren't slouches either. Reviewers kept saying they didn't cut corners.
Nope. 16 gigs of fast RAM, a 512 GB PCIe SSD.
Which means fast loading times, huge for gaming. Nobody likes loading screens.
Absolutely. Less waiting, more playing. That PCIe speed is key.
Okay, so powerful hardware, but then there's the software side, the operating system.
Windows 11, which is choice.
Yeah. A choice that means maximum versatility, right? Because it's not locked down like some other handhelds.
Precisely. You're not stuck in one store, one ecosystem. You get Xbox Game Pass, obviously, given the partnership.
Which we'll come back to.
Right. But also Steam, Epic, GOG, whatever. You could even run, I don't know, Photoshop if you really wanted to. It's basically a tiny, powerful PC.
Okay, but hang on. Windows 11, it's made for desks, monitors, mice.
Yeah. The trade-off arrives.
How does it actually feel using it on a 7-inch screen with joysticks? The sources mention this.
It can be clumsy, let's be honest. ASUS put their own software layer, Armory Crate, on top to help manage games and settings, which is good.
But you still have to dive into actual Windows sometimes for installs, updates.
Exactly. File management, tweaking settings. It's just not optimized for touch and controller input at its core. So you get all that freedom, but you lose some of the console-like simplicity.
Right. More power, more options, but maybe a bit more fiddling required. A higher tolerance needed from the user, perhaps.
That's a good way to put it. Technical tolerance.
Okay, let's shift to using it, the experience. Because this screen gets rave reviews.
Oh, yeah. Special praise is what I saw consistently. It's a 7-inch, full HD, 1920 by 1080 panel.
Pretty standard resolution, but the other specs?
That's where it shines. It's IPS, so great colors, great viewing angles. Good if someone's looking over your shoulder. But the headline features 120 hertz refresh rate and 500 nits of brightness.
Wow, 120 hertz on a handheld. That's amazing. Yeah. For anyone who hasn't seen it, things just look incredibly smooth.
Totally. The sources nail it. Excellent balance between sharpness and smoothness. Fast games feel super responsive. And that brightness, 500 nits, that's really bright. Good for playing outside or near a window.
Yeah, cuts through glare. Definitely one of the best screens out there in this category.
And then there's how it feels to actually hold. The physical design.
It looks like an ROG product, right? Bold lines, bit of RGB.
Yeah, the usual ROG aesthetic. But reviews said it feels solid, premium, and surprisingly light and comfortable even for longer sessions. That's crucial.
Ergonomics are everything on these things. And the controls.
Standard Xbox layout, which most people know. The feedback was really positive. Buttons feel good, sticks are responsive, triggers feel firm. They seem to have really thought about the grip and placement for comfort.
Good. And that touchscreen, you mentioned Windows being clumsy. Does touch help?
It does, actually. It's not just a gimmick. When you do have to jump into the Windows desktop, having a responsive touchscreen helps a lot for, like, Quickly tapping icons or dragging windows, way better than trying to do that with just the joysticks.
Okay, so specs are great, feels good. Let's get to the main event. How does it actually run games?
This is where that Z1 Extreme chip really earns its keep. The sources say the Ally truly shines here. Meaning most modern games, you can play them smoothly, often at medium, sometimes high settings, at that native 1080p resolution, which is pretty impressive for a handheld.
Even demanding stuff, like, say, Cyberpunk or Forza.
Yeah, playable frame rates, maybe not maxed out. You'll likely need to tweak some settings down, especially for really heavy titles. But the fact it can run them respectably well is a big deal.
And how does that stack up against, say, the Steam Deck? That's the obvious comparison.
Well, the sources suggest the Ally generally has more raw power, more GPU horsepower thanks to that RDNA 3 architecture.
So what does that mean for me, the player?
It means potentially higher frame rates, and it can target that 1080p resolution more easily. The Steam Deck is sort of optimized for 800p, 60 Hz. The Ally aims higher.
Towards 1080p, 120 Hz.
Right. Now, you won't always hit 1080p, 120 Hz in the newest AAA games, let's be real, but you have more headroom. And for less demanding games, indie titles, older stuff...
They can probably take full advantage of that 120 Hz screen.
Exactly. And that feels incredibly smooth. A step up the competition often can't match. It gets remarkably close to a decent PC experience.
Which is kind of the whole point. And ASUS made it easy to actually use that performance right away.
Oh yeah, strategically brilliant move. It comes with 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate included.
That's huge. It leans right into the Windows advantage and gives you instant access to hundreds of games.
Right. A massive library, day one, no extra cost initially. It's a perfect way for you to just dive in, download some demanding stuff, some lighter stuff, and really see what the Ally can do.
Test it out immediately, see how those settings work for you.
Connects the hardware promise to the software reality instantly.
Yeah.
Plus, you still have Steam, Epic, everything else you already own.
Okay, so performance is strong, screen is amazing, versatility is off the charts, but there's always a but.
There is always but.
And with powerful portable devices, it's usually the same but. The sources were unanimous.
Yep. Battery life.
The Achilles heel.
It's the fundamental challenge, isn't it? You cram a powerful chip, a bright 120 Hz screen, a full desktop OS doing stuff in the background, all into this small body. Something has to give.
And it's the battery. So what are we talking realistically?
If you're really pushing it, playing those big AAA games, high settings, you're looking at maybe 2 hours. Maybe 4 if you're lucky, or tweak settings down significantly.
Oof. 2 hours at peak performance.
Yeah, closer to 2 is often the reality for the most demanding scenarios.
That's not a lot for playing on the go, like on a long train ride or flight.
Yeah.
Is this really a travel device or more of a play around the house untethered for a bits device?
That's the core question for you, the potential buyer. Now, if you're playing older games, indie stuff, streaming video, just browsing.
The battery lasts longer?
Oh yeah, significantly longer, maybe 6-7 hours even. But the minute you unleash that Z1 Extreme power, it just drinks juice.
And the sources said this isn't unique to the Ally. Powerful handhelds all struggle here.
True, it's physics. But the Ally seems to have leaned harder into peak performance, maybe accepting a shorter minimum battery life compared to rivals that aimed for a lower power ceiling from the start.
So ASUS chose frames per second over minutes per charge, essentially.
That seems to be the philosophy, yeah. We'll give you the absolute best performance possible, just maybe keep that charger handy.
And Windows 11 probably doesn't help battery life either, with all its background tasks.
Exactly. It's less optimized for pure power efficiency compared to, say, the custom Linux OS on the Steam Deck. Even with ASUS's software trying to manage it, Windows is just inherently busier. More freedom, less efficiency sometimes.
Right. Okay, so wrapping this all up, taking everything from the sources, the ASUS ROG Ally, it's definitely a bold and impressive shot at this market.
No doubt. You've got that custom AMD chip, the fantastic screen, and the huge, if slightly complex advantage of Windows. It's a really slick package.
But that battery life is the asterisk, a big one.
It's the cost of entry for that level of power right now. But despite that, the sheer performance potential, the screen quality, the ability to play basically any PC game you own, it makes it incredibly compelling, one of the most exciting handhelds out there.
It really pushes the boundaries of what a portable can do, raises the bar. Which leads us to our final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. We know compromises are necessary when you shrink a PC. You can't have desktop power and all-day battery life yet.
So the question is, how much power do you really need on the go? Is the level of performance the Ally offers worth the shorter playtime between charges?
Did ASUS make the right bet here, leaning into peak performance, assuming that's what people want most, even if it means reaching for the power cable sooner?
It's that constant tension. Power versus endurance, the Ally definitely picked a side. Something to think about.
Indeed. Okay, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for tuning in.
Catch you in the next one.